Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tenje. For those of you who do not know me, and for those of you who know me, welcome back. I know I've been away for some time. Your issues were many, but I feel like everything just happens in perfect timing. Yeah, and if you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around, so this is part 4 of Just Get Better with Time. And guys, I feel like you won't do yourself justice if you don't go through part 1, part 2, part 3. I feel like if you do part 1, part 3, you would have an idea of what's going on, but it's better to go through all of them. But anyways, so if you just come here, like, you probably might not understand what's going on, and it's not gonna do you any justice. This video is not gonna do you any justice. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so I ended up saying that it was my time to go home because I was feeling sick and baby needed family. And one thing that I can add to that is that the whole year of 2021, after losing my mom, I'm like, you know what? I have this mindset that yeah, man, I'm gonna go back home to daddy and the kids, and we're gonna try to find a new normal again and stuff like that. One thing that has been shifted a lot in terms of my grieving process was or in terms of my grieving season was, yeah, that sign, was stability. My life has never been so unstable in my entire life ever since my mom passed away. So in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, the year was a roller coaster, but when I get back home, me and daddy and the kids are gonna figure things out. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. My dad was marking matric papers. My siblings were scattered among relatives, and that shattered me. It was just so traumatizing. I can't really explain it much. Probably you guys might not think it's a big deal, but for me, it was just like, I can't have things my way. And this is one thing that I've also realized in terms of my grieving, is that people grieve differently. So I have this idea that, you know what, me and daddy are gonna be sitting and the kids are gonna be sitting. I'm gonna cook for them. We're gonna pray together. We're gonna study the Bible together. We're gonna try to find healing together. We're gonna try to find our new normal again together. We're gonna figure everything else together. But some people grieve through being busy. Some people, like my little sister, for instance, like she likes being alone in her room doing art, or being on the internet trying to distract herself. My little brother is the one who's more like me. He likes to be around me a lot and ask me questions and just spend time with me. Yeah, my dad just likes being busy as well. So it's like it was so hard to just adjust to everything, because for the first time in my life, nothing happened my way. The only thing that I had control over, and even up until today, is my schoolwork. Can't control how a person responds to grief. You can't control how they deal with grief. You can't control how they respond to certain circumstances. So I had to focus on myself. I had to let go of a lot of things. I had to go to my grandmother's place because obviously my dad was not around. And one thing also that was very prominent during the year was I was dealing with a lot and I was suppressing issues so that I pass, right? But when I went to my grandmother's place, I had this mindset to go to immediately after writing, I can grieve for my mom. Immediately after writing, I can deal with issues, I can cry, I can do all of that. In whose house? You know what I mean? Though, if you're gonna stay at rest, that's fine. But I don't think your family member will allow you to do that. I don't think anyone, for that matter, would just look at you like sleeping the whole day in your room or watching Netflix, doing whatever you're trying to distress. Life has to go on. If, for instance, I'm with my grandmother and chores need to be done, I need to help her out with those things. So yeah, it was really quite a struggle, because now it's like you also have to suppress issues at home, because I also realized one thing about my grandmother. My grandmother is like my mom. Like, my grandmother, shame, like, if I'm going through something, it affects her more. So I prevented feeling pain so that my grandmother shouldn't really feel that much pain. But obviously, there's some things that you can't hide. So I did see that it affected her. So I wasn't able to fully express my grief even during December. And my grandmother also saw Kuti, I'm different, in the sense of like, before my mom passed away, I would be that type of person who would wake up at 6 a.m. I'll be doing the chores and everything. I'll be helping her out where I can. But now it can be 10, I'm still in bed. It can be 11, I'm still in bed. And if I wake up, if she wakes me up, I'll do the chores and go back to bed. I'll literally do the bare minimum. Like before that, I knew my work was just to clean the house and maybe like wash the dishes. But now, and before that, if I'm done with that, I would do more and I would help her out. But now it was like immediately after washing the dishes and cleaning the house, I'd go back to bed. I would be like just isolated. So yeah, man. And it was not easy for me. Shame. I feel like December was just so traumatizing also because it's the first holiday without my mom. And yeah, guys, I was going through a lot. Like, it's hell. Losing a parent is like you're dying but you're alive. I don't even know how to explain it. But I even fell sick during that time because of a lot of issues I was dealing with, a lot of family drama as well. And then and I remember getting like 3 different diagnoses, guys. Someone said I had ovarian cyst, someone said I have like irregular periods, someone said something about stress and everything. So different diagnoses altogether. I didn't take none of those medication because I hate medication. I think I alluded to that in the previous video. So it does come a time when I have to go back home. So before that I got my results. The day the day that I got my results, people texted on the group, the results are out. I didn't go to the portal immediately. I already knew that I passed like before, but there was just that what if moment, like what if you actually did fail? Like what are you gonna do? Like what's gonna happen, So I didn't have the courage to open the portal myself. I asked my friend to do that, but I think he had network issues. So I felt like it's a sign that I should open it myself. My network was not working on my phone. I'm just like, you know what? Maybe it's a sign that I'm not supposed to see this. So I tell my aunt hotspots me. And I see the permitted to proceed and I sigh. That sigh like you're relieved, like that sigh you're like that one. So I checked my results. I went to tell my grandmother. My grandmother's like, oh wow, well done, go finish cleaning. Didn't that hurt me? And please don't get it twisted. Like my grandmother loves me so much. My grandmother is like supportive of me and everything. I just feel like also it's a mindset that you have, Guti. Like you have this thing of she's always been a top achiever. It was just guaranteed that she's gonna pass, but you don't know what you went through to get there. Like the moment when you see a report card, guys, and you just think of all the things you went through, you're just like, damn. So I'm sitting in the sitting room and I'm feeling an indignation inside of me. I'm feeling so angry and I'm like, damn, it's like I've been keeping this anger inside of me and it's like boiling up now. I realized then and there that I'm actually mad at God. So the whole entire time I was convincing myself that I'm okay with God's will. I even made that prayer and everything. I feel like everything was genuine. It's just that the certain things when we come here where you actually realize what you lost and you're just like, Lord, actually I'm not okay with this, So I was angry at God and I wanted to pray. I wanted to say whatever was on my mind, but there was nothing I could say. There was nothing I could say to God with respect, with love, and with being honest with myself at the same time. So I remember just uttering the words, I'm mad at you, Lord. I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you. And then I just became distant from God from that moment. I tried to watch a sermon, I think, the following day to try and reconnect with God to see if there's a little bit of fire left in me. But I was not feeling anything. Guys. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe let's just let this slide. So, and I want to make it clear that I wasn't giving up on God. I was mad at God. There's a difference. It's like, when you're angry at someone in a relationship, you don't want to lose them. Losing them is out of the question, But like you just don't know how to pass this. You just don't know how to get over this. So after that, I I saw my uncle. I'm like, Uncle, I need to talk to you. Because at that time I was just dealing with a lot, and I'm like, I need to talk to someone. We took a drive. It was at night. It was very beautiful. Those memories were very sentimental, even if it was one of the most painful memories. So I got into the car with my uncle, and I asked him a question. I'm like, has your relationship with God ever been shifted or tested? Or shaken. Shaken was the word I used. It's like the relationship is not broken, but it's shaken. Like you're just like, yeah. And you know you wanna fight for it. You know you wanna fight for the relationship, but you don't know how to get over this. Get over the fact that God actually allowed my mom to pass away, that type of thing, you know? Get over the fact that I'm dealing with so much and I don't get a break. And it's like I have to just somehow believe that God is good, even in this time when I don't feel like it, and every single thing just keeps on getting worse. Things just keep on getting worse, guys. Things just keep on getting worse. So I started saying a lot of things. Well, I didn't really like understand. My relationship with God at that time felt like, you know, the person is there. Not once did I feel like God was not there after my mom passed away, but like it almost feels like you're on the phone with this person. Like the network is breaking. You know that they are there, but you can't communicate like how you used to communicate before. Like I can't smile. My heart is not there. I have this so much bitterness, so much anger in my heart, and that's the breaking part of it. Because you're communicating with this person, but then you have walls. You have walls, and you're not coming as you are in front of God. And yeah, that was the most painful part, because it's like at that point I felt like no one understood me, and the one person who understands me, I'm angry at him. So now you feel alone. And there are times when, but at that time at my grandmother's place, my little brother was there, my older brother, my sister was at my aunt's place. I could tell my younger brother was broken, and I felt so helpless because I couldn't do much. You know, like you literally see the signs and symptoms that this person is also like hurting, but you can't do much because you're also bleeding. Um, Eventually the time came that I had to go back to my dad's place, and I went there. I wasn't able to like stay over. I went with my bags and stuff. I wanted to like, you know, remain, but I couldn't stay over because there were a lot of changes that were happening at home. And at that moment I just wanted stability. I just wanted normal, guys. Like my life was just turning roller coaster after roller coaster after roller coaster. I just needed stability. I just needed a place where I can just sit down. There's no drama, there's nothing. I'm just like sitting down, reading a book, enjoying life, seeing the sunset. You know how life was so simple. Not having to worry about bills, not even have to worry about finances. Like for the first time in my life I got worried about so many things that I never did when my mom was still around. So after that, after talking to my dad, I had to stay with one of my mom's closest friends at that time, because yeah, because I just couldn't. I just couldn't be at a place where there were a lot of things happening. And then when I got there, I felt like I could breathe. There are no voices. There's nothing. Just calm. And it doesn't change the fact that I was still hurt. It doesn't change the fact that I was still bruised. It doesn't change the fact that I was still bleeding inside. And I remember those are one of the darker moments of my life, you know, like it's like you come to a place where you're sitting down, there's no chaos happening in your life, but you're thinking a lot. Um, I think as time went on, there was also this one person who was around. Mm, it's the sister to my mom's friend at that time. And she was so on fire for God. Like I could literally see her. And it's like when I was seeing her, I was just seeing Danger before mom passed away, you know, like how she was so, not even before my mom passed away, actually Danger before university, because even before my mom passed away, I was just dealing with a lot. So I was seeing Benji in high school, you know, like she was talking about God, she was on fire for God. Wake up early in the morning, over my AM, she's praying, she's talking about how God has been so good in her life and everything. And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm just like, Can you just shut up? And she was a constant reminder of how far I was from God. And also, she was a reminder, Okuti, like, damn, I need to eventually go back to God, you know? I hadn't left completely, but I wasn't where I was supposed to be. You understand? I have to eventually um, ask God, you know, to come back and also consider the fact that I'm a little bit disappointed in God because I don't understand why things happened the way they did. So that night I made a prayer to God because yeah, I was just going through it, guys. Yeah, guys, so this is the prayer that I made to God on the 19th of January 2021. And I'm just sharing this vulnerability check-in, yana yana there, but yeah. Um it reads as follows. Lord, I'm so hurt and confused. I wanted to ask you, what are your plans for my life? Do you still have the same plans for my life? Lord, I'm broken, shattered, and directionless. I'm at a point in my life where I literally worry about anything and everything. My giving and forgiving heart seems to be placing me at a huge disadvantage. I am just so tired. My night has been so long. I have no expectations for this year. To be honest, I don't know if that is a good thing or not. I literally feel like all the life and hope has been sucked out of me. When I pray, the words don't come out. And when I read the Bible, it makes me confront issues I'm trying to avoid. It is hard to accept that this is your will and that it has always been your will. I'm supposed to ignore my feelings and believe that this is the best for my life. And honestly, Lord, it's hard. I am not angry at you. Well, at first I was, but then I'm just angry at my situation. There seems to be no sign of light in my world, and everything has just become pitch dark. I am so tired of my life and my situations, Lord. Well, complaining about things won't help me in any way, but then I just don't know what to do with myself anymore. I feel as though people are using and abusing me. I treat people like how I would like to be treated, but I get the opposite kind of treatment. I hate my life. Like, I just feel like I don't get a break. I need you, but I am failing to draw near to you. I am malnourished because of the lack of your word, but I just can't read it. I honestly don't know why I can't read your Bible. My insecurities are on another level. I keep thinking that people don't like me and that it is just driving me insane. I know I expected a lot from people and myself too. I just didn't expect to be hurt and disappointed by people I care about in this way. Not even getting to my mother's death, where her death was so sudden and traumatic. On top of that, so much happened. My mind is always talking. I don't know how to silence the voice inside of my head. I said that I forgave, but the wounds on my heart have left scars. I don't want to live in my past, but I also just don't know my future too. How can I move forward when I don't even know what tomorrow looks like and I don't even have hope for tomorrow? For this year, even, Lord, do you see me though? That was the end of my prayer for the 19th of Jan. And I feel like that was like an icebreaker because for the first time in my life, I was really honest with God. I was honest that I wanted to pray, but I couldn't pray. I was honest about the fact that I wanted to read the Bible, but I couldn't. And then on 20th of January 2022, I'm like, good evening, Dad. I would like to say that I miss you so much. I really do. I miss the connection we had. I know that I am partially to blame because of all the anger I harbored inside of me and the unexpressed confusion and disappointment. And then from then on, it was talk after talk after talk, and we're communicating from that moment forth. But answering the question now, does it get better with time? It depends on how you define better, you know? There's never gonna be a part or a point in my life where I think of my mom and don't feel pain. There's never gonna be a point in my life. Maybe they would. I don't know. I'm too young to too soon to judge. But let me just say the memory of her passing. I don't think there's ever gonna be the memory of her passing, and I feel like, you know what, that was okay. I think also alluding to the fact that I know that there are two different, completely different pains. Yo, I butchered English there, but I know there are two completely different pains, like the pain of my childhood. But I don't think there's ever gonna be a moment where it's like I think about my abuse as a child and it's not painful, you know? Like I'm better now. I can actually even speak about it without crying, but I don't think there's ever a time when I think about the fact that, oh my goodness, I went through sexual abuse and I don't feel pain. And it has been so long, guys. It has been years. And there are parts of me that I feel like will always be there. When someone talks about something sensitive like that, I do feel touched. If someone tells me that, then Jay, this happened to me, this guy touched me inappropriately, or, I was raped or something like that, it does touch me. It doesn't really have much effect as it did in my past, but it still does. I feel like there will always be a part of me like that in my childhood. So the same with my mother's pain. So when my mom's death came along, it wasn't such a surprise because I feel like at some point you learn to coexist with the pain eventually. For me, the better that I'm referring to is hope. Like last year I had no hope. I saw people making their New Year resolutions, and I'm just like, how is a future without mom? What is a future without mom? Like she used to pray for me. We used to talk about deep stuff, talk about marriage, talk about everything. She used to just be the one person that I know if someone doesn't text me the whole week, ain't no way 2 days are gonna pass by without my mom texting me or checking up on me. And even if it does happen that, for instance, I fail, she's gonna be that one person who has my back. My mom felt like, the way me and my mom were so close, I never even felt a need to have a guy in my life. Obviously, there were times when you have a crush and you have feelings and everything, but I was afraid of losing my mom more than any other thing. So if it means loss of friendship just to stick with my mom, so be it. So now it was just like my life has just been shifted. Everything was just like question mark, like, Lord, where to from here? But what I would like to appreciate is God's love and God's mercy and God's sustenance during the whole entire time, because he might not take the pain away as soon, or he might not take away the pain at all, but he does offer you hope, and he does stick with you till the end and through the whole entire process. So for me, I'm at a better place this year. So does it get better with time? I don't know, really. Because I even remember I was like I was like coming from these tutorials with this girl. She was telling me about how she lost her mom too. And then she's like, I've learned to live without her. And I'm just like, yeah, me too. And it's so hard to like explain it to someone else. Like, you are not, but you're still not fine. And like when someone says, are you okay? You're like, yeah, I'm fine, but you're not fine. You know what I mean? Like, you can, this is so hard to explain. But life after grief is like an amputation. Like, you probably might not heal from it completely, but you probably, you'll never be the same again. That's the thing, you'll never be the same again. And I'll talk about how so many things have changed about me ever since I lost my mom. But you eventually become okay. Like, you learn to, I don't know, like, let me explain this. Grief is like this. It's like, when you get involved in a car accident, right? And then they remove your legs. They amputate your legs because for some reason the injury was too much to a point where they had to cut off your legs and you become an amputee. So the first few weeks are gonna be hard. You're gonna miss walking, you're gonna miss running, you're gonna miss doing those things that you used to do with your legs. When your friends are going out and they're doing activities that require legs, you're sitting there, you're with your friends, and then your friends are asking you, are you okay? You're like, yeah, I'm fine, but actually, I'm not fine. And you're gonna grieve, you're gonna cry, you're gonna feel like your world is ending, you're gonna feel like, how can I live without legs again? But then eventually like you learn to live with it. Eventually you learn to smile again. Eventually you learn to find your new normal again. So I think my better is finding a new normal, finding a life. I feel like for me, the thing that was tested the most was, can I live without my mom, and what is the future like without my mom? I mean, I'd already like put this in my mind, like my mom is gonna be there on my wedding day, my mom is gonna be there when I have my first child. I'm gonna go to my mom's house one time when me and hubby are gonna have an argument, my future husband. Let's just say we have a heated argument. I'm like, I'm going to mama. You know? Like you have all those things and you're just like, what does the future look like without her? You know? And the only person that I could think about was Jesus. I don't know how the future looks like. Even today, I do have my moments when I wake up and damn, the pain still feels fresh. There are days when I talk about her and I laugh, and literally I don't feel any pain at all. There are days when I have deep moments that I actually feel pain, because I remember even in December, I was still at my grandmother's place. I was trying to sort out some issues with my mom's stuff, and I got into this other place where we were supposed to sort out the issues, and I'm seeing a mother and a daughter taking pictures of a graduation. Did I not fight the tears, guys? Literally, all of you guys, you have this thing, when I graduate, mama has to be there, but now you're like, damn, my mom is not gonna be there in my graduation pictures, you know. So you try to see or picture, what does life look like without mom? Well, I don't know how it looks like, and even now I'm still trying to figure it out, but definitely it's gonna be a life that has more of God in it, you know. And guys, the pain is this, the pits is the worst. And if you don't have God, you can literally lose yourself. I feel like at that moment, that was when I actually understood why people drink, why people smoke, why people have like casual sex just to get rid of the pain. But I'm just so glad that God sustained me, and that is not even me being judgmental, but it's me just coming to a place where you're just like, and other people who were not able to like overcome a specific pain, or other people who are in those situations, will look at you and be like something like, says the person who's not this and this. And oftentimes I've seen people projecting their hurt on me, like I'm at a better place, or I'm okay, and I look like I'm coping. Sometimes I'm not really, like, guys, I'm not really. I look like I'm coping, and someone will project that hurt on me, saying, "Would say, oh, okay, at least you're smart, you know," or "Oh, at least you're beautiful." Like, what does that have to do with anything? And now you are taking your pain and comparing it with my pain. I feel like that is the worst place you can ever put yourself in. Not only you, but also other people around you. So I'll actually do another video on comparing pain, because I feel like, so all of us might be guilty. Not all of us are guilty of it, but all of us are just, I feel like, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we all could be at a better place if we do not compare pain. So yeah, man, I remember Jeremy saying this. I was reading his book, I Still Believe. It says something like, the pain is never gonna go away, and I do not want it to, because I never want it to be just another story. And you're probably looking at my life, you're probably listening to all my parts about how I lost my mom, and you're probably thinking, that's just another story of someone who lost their mom. Maybe someone who conquered, someone who's trying to, like, find their ways and their means through it all. You probably looking at my situation like that. But for me, it's not just a story. For me, it's a story about, even in terms of my past or my childhood, it's a story about redemption. It's a story about how, in life, you don't have to have it all figured out. Sometimes you just need God. And when you have God, you don't have to have everything figured out, because God has everything figured out. You just need to trust Him. And yeah, man, I think that's just it. So for me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm at a better place. Last year, I couldn't even, guys, I remember going to Gold Reef with my friend Aru, and I was trying to enjoy the experience of Gold Reef. Like, you can't enjoy nothing. Like, you guys see me post. You guys saw me post on Instagram a lot. I went out and everything, but you are literally sinking. You're literally trying. You guys, you are dying. You're just going through the most. You're just going through the motions, you know. And I would have people who would come to me and project their hurt on me at that time when I was just dealing with a lot of things. And you'd find someone who's saying things like, like, at least you have, I don't like that word. or someone saying, "Guti, at least you lost your mom when you were like in varsity, imagine what your sister's going through, imagine what your younger brother's going through." I'm just like, why do you have to do that? And the vele vele understand, it's such a shame that my little sister and my two brothers were not able to experience the things that I experienced. Mara, why do you have to compare my pain with my siblings' pain? Why do you have to compare? I'm sure I lost my mom and my sister lost my mom. We both did have the same mom, but I promise you the pain is not the same. The relationship I had with my mom is not the same relationship that Tico had with her mom. And it's not the same relationship that my little brothers had with their mom. And in as much as it's the same mom, but we are not the same children. So we didn't have the same experience of her. Do you understand what I mean? Like you guys can be in the same friend group, but then and have the same friend, but you don't have the same friendship. So you can't compare the grief, like, at least don't do that. Don't do that. But anyways, I feel like I'm going on to venting now, so let me just stop there. But I think my question would be like I think my answer to that question, because after making that prayer to God, I don't know when I became better actually. I don't know. I feel like God worked step by step. And it was not like an what can I say? Like an instantaneous thing, because after being honest with God upfront that night, the following morning I realized how I actually miss him. And then from then I started talking to God a lot. I moved from being angry at him to being angry at my situation, and coming to a place where I'm just like, Lord, deal with this, deal with that. And at times when, for instance, I would see a mom and a daughter in the mall or whatever, I'm like, Lord, work in my heart, like, Lord, help me. And also one thing that really helped me during that time was immediately after losing my mom, there's this lady who has been like played a motherly role in my life. And I remember she was telling me, she's like, Denje, I know you lost your mom and no one will be able to replace your mom, but never allow bitterness to rob you of love, because God is going to bring people in your life that's going to play motherly roles in your life. They're not going to replace your mom. They're not going to replace your mom, but they're going to try to patch in the gap, you understand, and make you feel less motherless. So you have to open up your arms to accept that love. And oftentimes I feel like we also rob ourselves of that love, because now you lost your mom, you're like, no one will be able to love me, whatever. It does happen that you get a stepmom, you just like, you're not my mom. Like, don't do that. Like, don't do that yourself. Like, if you genuinely have like an amazing person in your life, if you genuinely get another mom, try to establish a different relationship with her, and don't try to compare your relationship with your mom with her. She's different. She has her weaknesses, she's also human, and try to find a unique relationship with her. Because I remember Jeremy was actually saying this in his book, about how he married again after his wife Melissa passed away from cancer. And he was like, every time when he shares his story, like broadly, people ask him who he loves between his first wife and his second wife. He's like, I don't think there's someone that I love more than the other. I just feel like my heart has grown bigger to accommodate both of them, and I feel like I love them both differently, and I can't really compare their relationship. So coming to a place where I became open to that, God had to work in my heart, and I'm just like, if it does happen that a woman comes into my life, I'm gonna try to establish a unique relationship with her, because my mom's relationship is unique. And if I'm ever gonna compare my mom with someone else, chances are that she's not gonna cut it. So, and also considering the fact that she's my mom, is gonna be unfair on her. So I opened my heart to be loved by other women also being my aunt, anyone literally. I have so many people I call ma nowadays. I'm just like, I think my mom's spiritual mom, when she calls me, she's like, how's your mom? I'm like, which one? Because I have so many moms. But yeah, man, I think things don't get better with time, they get better with Christ in my world, because God helps you with a lot. Sometimes when you're crying, God knows just how to comfort you, God knows just how to make you feel better. Sometimes just talking to a friend helps. Coming to a place where, personally, even for me, I had to forgive people I had to forgive myself, and I had to forgive a lot of expectations that I had on a lot of people in my life at that time, and coming to a place where you realize what you really have. Because that's the moment I got to realize what I really have. Like, you are crying over that person who's not there for you, but you forget that this person who has been there for you, never disappointed you one bit, and is trying by all means to be there for you. And coming to embrace those people who are really there for you, feel so much better. And I think the other time when we're making a video with D and Aru, they're talking about how you know your place in someone's life, and I feel like that was when I got to know my place in people's lives, and I got to know my places. Like, you think you're that special in someone's life, maybe you're not, and being okay with that, because even for you, not everyone occupies the same place in your heart. So I focused a lot on my relationships, people were actually there for me, trying to be the best sister to my siblings, and help where I can. But yes, it does get better for me in my world. And better, it depends on how you define better. Better is trying to see a future without your mom, because eventually this person, I can't live without you, mom. And I was really, I thought I couldn't live without my mom. But coming to a place where you can live without your mom, and you see a future without your mom, there is hope, but she'll always be a part of you, her memories and everything. My mom and I were so close to a point where if I was faced with a decision and I was on a crossroad, it almost feels like I can hear her voice, like, then you do this, do that, And I feel like, honestly, also some experiences that God allowed me to experience, like when I dream about her and stuff like that, which I honestly, like, there's some dreams that I convert that are demonic, but there are other dreams that I could sense the peace of God in it. And I think I'll make a separate video of that, on how I was able to differentiate between my mom being an instrument that God uses to speak to me, and when it is actually demonic, or spirits trying to masquerade as my mom. These things are real, guys. These things are real. But coming to a place where I got to experience some of those things, but also coming to a place where you don't try to chase it. You don't try to chase speaking to your mom, because that's when you're gonna get involved in sorcery and stuff like that. Don't do that. Realize that God is your source, and if all fails and if you lose anyone, God is still God, and God is still gonna be the most important person in your life. So yeah, it does get better with Christ, not time. And it depends on how you view better, which is hope. I have hope for the future, and if you can get hope, guys, you don't need anything else. Does it still hurt? Hell yeah. Like, hell yeah. I don't think there's ever gonna be a point where you're gonna ask me, like, does your mom's death hurt? Dude. You have no idea, okay? You have no idea. And shame, I wouldn't want anyone to experience that, so that you guys can understand. But it's only people who have experienced that who actually understand. But it does hurt. It is still painful, but God still carries you through, and you have hope, and you actually smile genuinely, and you're able to experience life. You're not mentally on the urge about to think of ending your life, whatever. You come to a place where, honestly, like, you become better. You're in a dark hole the day you found out that your mom passed away. A year after, it's like, wow, my mom passed away on this day, and you cry a little bit. You call a friend who will be able to comfort you, who will understand, who will sympathize with you. Life goes on, because you know what, if you have God, in my world, you have everything you need. So that's the end, guys. I could go on and on, honestly, but I'm gonna cut the video there. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if it was beneficial, I don't know if it was beneficial, but just to give you content of that, so that I can preach about other things that I found very beneficial last year. But please, don't see my video and go into someone and preach to them when you have never experienced that yourself. You understand? Because I've had a lot of people projecting experiences onto me. Like, my friend also passed away, and my relationship with my mom is different. My grief is different from your grief. We can literally lose the same parent, but still be feeling but still be feeling different pain. Don't compare. Don't use my story, please, as a way to, like, disregard someone's pain or make someone's pain invalid. But it can give you content, or give you a light on how the other person might be feeling, and it can give you, like, a little bit of a window of what a person is going through at that time. But yeah, please don't use it as a reference. Use their story as a reference. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, guys. I don't know what to say else. I don't know what else to say, but yeah. Bye. Until next time. I love you.